Good day, everyone. Welcome to Qwilr's Design class. My name is Laika. I am part of Qwilr's digital design team, and I will be your instructor for today. So before we begin, this session does assume your basic familiarity with Qwilr. If you're new, then no worries at all. Feel free to follow along, and after this session, we recommend checking out the previous Qwilr 101 webinars on our website for a more complete introduction to Qwilr. So today's session will run for about an hour. So we'll spend 30 minutes for a live demo and then wrap it up with a Q&A session. So we will be covering different topics like a quick recap to the block styles, and then a more focused time on the code block and the ROI calculator. So next is some housekeeping notes that we would like to share before we start. So first, please post your questions on our chat box or the Q&A tab. So we have designers on standby, and they will answer the questions for you as we go along with our demo. Next is cameras are turned off by default. And lastly, the microphones will also be muted throughout the session to keep things running smoothly. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So for this session, we've prepared a very simple Qwilr page to cover today's topics. So we've all added the content and the images to the page so that we'll save more time to discuss more things with this session. So we'll skip the hero block and move straight to our introduction block. So for this one, we will be fixing the space on the left, right, and the top and bottom of the block. To do that, simply go to your style library, and then under the Customize tab, we have here the width settings. So 4 options for the width settings. We have small, medium, large, and custom, where you can go as low as 650 and as high as 1140 pixels. Next is for the block spacing. We have 4 options as well. We have small, medium, large, and the custom, where you can go as low as 1% and as high as 100%. So let's go back to small for now. And then lastly, we have the minimum height. So we have here the none, and none, you can go as small to the smallest size possible with this option. And then we have 1/3 of the screen, one half of the screen, and full screen. So these sections here, it adjusts depending on the size of your screen. Okay, so for now, let's go back to none. Next is I want to share a bit of a shortcut in order for you to add this divider here. So for context, you can add this divider by going to this button here, the content button, and then going to this divider option. But a quick shortcut for this is by pressing your hyphen symbol on your keyboard 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and it will automatically convert to the divider that we have. Okay, so next we will be adjusting the font size very quickly. We will be moving or adjusting this to 24, and in order for the rest of the paragraph to follow, we will be updating the whole block. So let's go to this style modified button here and click the update block. So what it does is it updates the body text on all the blocks here. So same is true with the subheadings. If you click the update blocks option, it will also update all the blocks or the subheadings on your block. Okay, and then next we want to use a custom color for our block here, because the color that we want to use is currently not saved in our brand setup. So we will be using a hex code, but you can also use this color slider here, but for now we will be using the hex code. So what is the hex code? So the hex code is a 6-digit hexadecimal number used in digital design to represent colors by defining the intensity of the red, green, and blue components. So for now, we will be using this dark blue hex code that we prepared ahead of this session. So for now, this is our introduction block. Next is our scope block. So to keep things quicker, we will be using the same setup that we saved in this introduction block to this scope block. So in order to do that, we need to go to the introduction block, and under the style library, we will be clicking this style library option, and we will be saving this style. So all you need to do is click this plus sign here, and then rename this, for example, to introduction, and then add it to the library. And then if we go back to our scope block and apply the block style that we saved, it will automatically adjust the color and the font sizes and anything that is saved in the previous block to this second block that we have here. So we will be changing this block to white for now so that there's contrast between the two blocks that we have. And that's it for our scope block. We will be moving next to our code block so that we have more time to talk about this section. Okay, so we have here on the first pricing table, we have the typical use case for our pricing tables. So we have here the texts or the titles, and then the subtotals, and then our line items that we have here. So for this one, if you see, we have an optional item here, and we also have a one-time fee that is currently required. So in order for us to change this, and if you don't want this to be an optional item, all you need to do is go to the line item options on this section here, and then go to the properties section, and then turn off the optional line item. Then if you need an optional quantity so that your customers can choose the quantity that they want to purchase or to avail, all you need to do is turn this on, and then you can set the minimum from 100 and also add it for as high as we have here 100, 10 million, etc. So for now, also you can keep the minimum. For example, if you are limited to 5 minimum users, you can set that here. And if you see here, the down button is now gray because we have set a minimum to 5 quantity. Okay. Now, if you want to clone this line item, all you need to do is go to this clone item here, and then it will automatically follow or duplicate the previous line item following the settings as well for this section. And then you can change the name of this line item and also the pricing. So and also, if you need to add texts, so you'd have two options. You can choose this section here. You can press this text and then move it up if you want this to be placed between line items. And another option is for this plus sign here, and by choosing the text option, you can add the text here as well. So that's it for our first pricing table use case. Next is we have here 3 options that we can also use for our pricing table. If you are offering, for example, brands, itineraries, dates, different sources, or different services, etc., you can also use the pricing table for this one. So all you need to do is add the name of the service or the product, and then turn off the subtotal if you don't want to show any total or pricing here, and then use the optional selection so your customers can select these different options that you are offering to them. And then under these four columns, in order to not show this section here, all you need to do is turn off or hide this description section here, and it will automatically turn off or hide all the columns that we have here. So if you check our previous link here, it will show you that it is not showing the rest of this section here because the description has been turned off. So your customers can now choose the option that they want without showing anything else on the heading of or the header of your pricing table. Oops. And then next, another use case for your pricing table, you can use it as additional notes, or you can use it to add your commercial terms. So we have here, we used a text line item, and then we added our short terms here. So if you have longer terms, you can use the accept block. But for this example, we can use this pricing table because we have a sample pricing terms or commercial terms that are pretty short and that can be added in our code block. So don't forget to turn off or hide these three columns so that this description text that we have here is it will occupy the rest of this the rest of the columns that we have here. And then if you want to separate the terms into different text rows, you can also do that by using multiple text rows here. So if you check our preview, we have here first the option to use just one text row, and then the next is by using multiple text rows here. So this is how you can use the pricing table to add your commercial terms or your notes on your code block. And then quick recap on our code block settings. We have here the navigation. You can hide your code block by checking this section here. And then under the display options, if you don't want to showcase your totals, you can turn this off. And then under formatting, if you want to show only the whole numbers and does not want to show any decimals, you can turn this off. And as you can see here, the decimals has been turned off. And then language overrides. Language overrides, this is where you can change this column names as well as, let's go here. For example, you want to change any wordings in this billing frequency and anything like that. So you can do that in this language override section. Next is the tax library. So if you have different taxes that you want to apply, you can do that here. You can also add more taxes by going to this section. So you can just simply click this plus sign and it will allow you to add more taxes here. And then lastly, recurring costs. So if, for example, the first monthly payment of your customer is not included in this proposal, you can turn this off and it will automatically not include the first month payment for the due today of your customer. So that is our code block. So let's move on to our next topic, which is the ROI calculator. Sorry. So what is the ROI calculator? So ROI calculator is an interactive widget in your proposal that you can use to showcase different values you deliver using customizable metrics like the money, time and resources. So how does this work? So it works by using different variables instead of fixed numbers, so you can easily adjust the values and show your clients how the results change in real time. So in order to create or to use the ROI calculator, we will need to use or to create a formula for it based on our numbers. So how do we do that? So if we go back to our page here, we have here a sample or a guide on how to create a formula for the ROI calculator. So again, this is just a sample. Your formula will depend on your numbers and the numbers that you want to showcase, okay? So this is just a guide. And then when translated to the ROI formula, it would look like this by using the variables that we have set in our calculator. So what is calculated first? So anything inside a parenthesis will be calculated first, and then it will be followed by the multiplication and division, and then lastly the addition and subtraction. So that is how the order of calculation is performed in our ROI calculator. So going back, let's check our first sample here with basic computations. So by the way, this sample will not be showing you a return on investment, but more on the showcasing of the monthly payment sample, which will depend on the lease term that, for example, our customer will be choosing. Okay, so this is what we will be showing on our ROI calculator, the monthly payment. So we have here different variables for our sample. We have equipment value, reservation fee, deposit fee, and the term or the lease term. And then for our formula, we will be computing it. The monthly payment equals the equipment value minus the reservation fee minus the deposit fee divided by the lease term. So if we convert that to the ROI variables, we have variable A for the equipment value, variable B for the reservation fee, variable C for the deposit fee, and the slider for the lease term. So if we translate that to the formula for the ROI calculator, we have here variable A minus B minus C divided by the slider. So we prepared or we've already added the variables here ahead of time in order to have more time to discuss this section here. So in case you're wondering how to add variables, you can click this section here, add variable, and it will open up to this variable options where you can change the labels, add the minimums and the maximums, and the prefix and the suffix here. Okay, so for our slider here, let's go to slider options. So we have the label, list term, and then we have the minimum set to 6 months, and then the maximum to 36 months, and then the initial value is the minimum, which is the 6 months, and then the increment will be 6 as well, so that if we move this slider, it will be by 6. So it will be 6, 12, 18, and so on and so forth. So something like that. And now let's proceed with adding the formula to the ROI calculator. So in order to do that, let's first add the parenthesis so that this section here will be calculated first. Okay, so as a tip, I would like to suggest that if you are using parentheses, make sure to use the open and close parentheses right away instead of just using first the open parentheses and then adding the close parentheses after, because there's a chance that you might forget adding the close parentheses after, and it will cause an error to your formula. So as a tip, make sure to add both open and close parentheses right away. So let's go back. Let's add the variables a and then minus variable b and then minus variable c. And then outside the parentheses, we will be adding the division and then lastly the slider. So that will compute our monthly payment. So if we go back to our chart here for the monthly payment, we have 1,167 for the 6-month term. By the way, our ROI calculator only shows whole numbers and it automatically rounds off any decimal points that it calculates. Okay, so for 12 months we have 583, 18 months we have 389, 24 months is 292, 30 months is 233, and lastly, the 36 months term is 194. So that's how we calculate our monthly payment in the ROI. Next is we have another example, which is a more intermediate sample. So we have here additional variables that we've added in order to have more formula. So we still have the equipment value and the reservation fee, and then we changed the deposit fee to deposit percentage. And then we have additional variables, insurance, setup fee, documentation fee, admin fee, and we will be showing again the monthly payment for it. So our formula will be monthly payment equals the equipment value minus the reservation fee minus the computation for the deposit percentage is equipment value multiplied by the deposit percentage divided by 100, and then plus the insurance plus again the formula for the setup fee, and then plus the documentation fee, and lastly plus the admin fee divided by the terms. So when translated to the variables for our calculator, we have these following variables here, which are assigned for each of the letters and of the additional variables. And then if we translate that to the ROI formula, we have here variable A minus variable B minus this section here is the computation for the deposit percentage, and then plus the variable D is our insurance, which is this section, then plus again the section here is for the computation of the setup fee, which is this section here, plus the variable documentation fee, which is this section, and then plus the admin fee, which is the variable G, divided by the slider, which is the term. So again, we've added the variables in this calculator to save time. So for the slider, previously we have 6 months. This calculator, we've added 12 months to 60 months. So initial value is 12 and the increment is 12 as well. So let's go ahead and add the formula to our calculator. So let's start by using or adding again parentheses. So we have variable A minus, you can just also press the your keyboard symbols here if you want, variable B minus another parenthesis. For this section here, we have variable A for the computation of the deposit percentage multiplied by another parenthesis for this section, variable C divided by 100. And then go out of two close parentheses plus the variable D, which is the insurance, plus another parenthesis for our setup fee. We have variable A multiplied by another parenthesis for our percentage setup. We have variable E divided by 100. Again, go out to two close parentheses, then plus variable F plus variable G, and then go outside the parentheses, the last close parenthesis, and then add the division divided by the slider. So as you can see here, we have our monthly payment for 12 months. So if we check our monthly payment chart, we have here $11,339 for 12 months, and then going down 24 months of 5,669. So the longer we have the terms, the smaller the value is. So we have for 36 months or 3 years, we have 3,780. And then for 4 years or 48 months, we have 2,835. And lastly, for 60 months, which is 5 years, we have 2,268. So that is our formula for our ROI calculator. So again, if you are showing percentage, you can change this section here. For example, we have the percentage. It will also showcase that section here. But for now, we will stick with the dollar sign. Okay, so that is our ROI calculator. You can also change any of this style here. If you want to change this, the image, you can go to this icon here. If you want to change the color, you can do that on the tint. And also the slider color, if you also want to change it, you can go ahead and do that on this ROI calculator. So that concludes our ROI calculator topic. And then just an additional block here, we have our contact block. So we have here the website, email, and phone. So just a tip, if you want to link your email here, all you need to do is click this text here and go to the link, type mail to, and then your email, for example, docs@qwilr.com. And it will automatically, once you click it, it will automatically be redirected to your email, and then with the docs at qwilr.com as your recipient. And then for the phone, if you want to link this as well, just go to this link option, and then all you need to do is add the tel word, and then the add your number here. So that will give you or allow you to add your telephone numbers. So that's it for our demo for today. Let's go ahead with our Q&A session.